Number 5 says Mr. Sham used 10 buckets to collect rainfall in various locations on his property. The following line plot shows the amount of rain collected in each bucket in gallons. Write an expression that includes multiplication to show how to find the total amount of water collected in gallons. Then solve your expression. So the first thing I want to point out here is it says he's got 10 buckets, right? 10 buckets. So where are the 10 buckets in this graph? Well, if you look at the x's marking each plot, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You'll see that each X represents one of the 10 buckets. You can see that this is 1 gallon, this is 2 gallons, this is 3 gallons, and none of the buckets are actually on the whole number, so you're going to have to figure out what fractional amount each bucket is. And you can kind of do that by saying, well, how many chunks are in between 0 and 1? Kind of count those up. You're not counting the lines, remember. You're counting how many pieces that whole is divided into. And then for these, remember this is 1 and whatever fractional chunk that in. And for these, that is 2. And that is fractional chunks. So I'm not going to solve this one. Let's go to a different one and figure that out. I'm going to do the same thing. So this line plot is showing the number of miles run by Nolan in his PE class last month, which is round to the nearest quarter of a mile. Okay, so if I was going to write an expression to show how much he ran, how many amounts are we talking about? So we're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So Nolan went to Phi Ed class 10 times. He didn't run 10 different amounts though. So he ran 1 once. So I can just put that in my list. He ran 3/4 2 times. So he ran 3/4, but he didn't run it once, so I'm not just going to put 3/4 in my list. He ran it twice. So I'm going to go ahead and make 2 copies of 3/4, and I'll add that to 1. I've got 3 X's here that was a half, so 3 of the times he went to gym, he ran a half a mile. So I'm going to make 3 groups of a half, add that to the 2 groups of 3/4, and add that to the 1 group of 1. I'm almost done. I have just one amount left. I've got 1/4 of a mile, and it looks like Nolan ran that 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So I need to make 4 copies of 1/4 and add it together. Okay, so I'm going to switch colors here for a minute. You can see that these 4 X's right here were all worth 1/4, and that's represented by this parenthesis here. These 3 X's were all worth a half, and are represented by this pair of parentheses here. These 2 X's were each worth 3/4, as represented right here, and this 1 X was worth 1. Since it was only one number, I didn't need a set of parentheses for it. So how would I add this up? Well, this would be 1 still. This is 6/4. This is 3/2, and this would be 4/4. Okay, and I then have to add all of these together. Well, this becomes pretty easy. 1 and 1 make 2. Okay, this is really worth 1 1/2, so I've got 3 1/2. And this is actually worth 1 1/2, so 4 1/2, 5. So I can say Nolan ran 5 miles because I've got 1 1/2 here. I've got 1 1/2 here. And the 4/4 is really worth 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 2 halves together make 5, right? This is what they mean by expression. So they want all of the math you're doing all in one place. If you need to make some other notes like I did down below, that's totally fine. You can draw a picture, but we do need the expression as part of the solution to this problem. Good luck.